Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Rivalry Rundown. I am Alex Hartnett. I'm here with Daniel Webb. But right now, Daniel and I are going to kick things off, and we got a good show for you. I added a new segment in for this week, so I think we're going to ruffle some feathers. Maybe it's just going to ruffle some feathers between Dan and I, but it'll be fun. So a lot has happened over the course of a week since we last recorded. Scotty Scheffler won the BMW championship. I'm pretty sure that dude is unbeatable, but we will get further into that. College football is back this weekend, starting with a big game over in Dublin, which is Iowa State and K-State. I say it's a big game because it's a big game from the Midwest. And it's good to have college football back. Like Saturdays, waking up, watching college game day, and just knowing that I have nothing to do on a Saturday except for chase my kids around my house and watch college football.
I gotta say, man, I don't know. I think game day has been tarnished.
Oh, because
the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, one, you have Corso's gone. Okay, now
Corso's gone.
Corso wasn't much of a voice over the last, 10 years. Okay, he's just been a face.
He was kind of just there for like his mascot, and
honestly, McAfee showing up has been like the best thing for game day.
That really, Alabama Georgia, that was awesome. That was unbelievable.
Really, the problem with game day has been, oh God, what's his name? It rhymes with I'm a bitch, Herb Street.
Kurt?
Mr. SEC, in my back pocket.
Mr. I love Ohio State because my kid went to Ohio State, and
But
that's
really, I'm actually just all about the SEC, and that's it.
100%.
For everybody else,
100%.
League. Yeah,
100%. I think if he chose, he could choose to do every SEC game. I don't even think he would give a flying tarnation to go watch like Michigan, Oregon. Like in the big house.
For him. Like, nope, nothing for him. Don't like him.
Yeah,
he kind of ruined game day. Game day used to be it was fun. It was always fun to watch because they had the great segments on the big rivalry games or those big
right,
big matchups and stuff. And now it's just so much political bull crap. And let's see how many hours of SEC bullshit you can shove down my throat.
Yeah, I'm a little. I like the SEC just because, again, I'm a fan of Missouri, but it is getting a little oversaturated, if I want to say so. Like, it's all these schools are just going like, real. Oh, I want to join the SEC, or it's somebody saying, oh, you should go join the SEC, and it's for money, and and that's all it is. And whenever you have a program like Georgia, Alabama, LSU, and even Ole Miss, back in couple years ago when they were making a run, and even last year, like you get all these schools that are in the SEC, and then you add Oklahoma and you add Texas, you're just adding powerhouse after powerhouse after powerhouse. And that's even with the Big Ten now. Big Ten adding Oregon and adding all those USC and everything. So you're just setting yourself up for, which again, we kind of went into it last week about like, hey, you have a team that's 11-0, and they're playing their 12th game. So it's always been, Michigan, Ohio State, right? You go in, you lose that game, that team goes and advances, that wins. They go to the Big Ten championship, lose it. And then the team that lost to go to the Big Ten championship is out. But the team that goes into the Big Ten championship loses, the team that they beat last week now is ahead of them. So it doesn't make sense. So I don't know. Like I am for changing the conferences to 4 big conferences and then putting the top 25 as like a Texas playoff style. Like I am all for that. Like get rid of all the bowl games, get rid of all that. I was listening to Fesco this morning, and he was like, what they should do is they should do all the campus games, get rid of all the bowl games, do it playoff style, and the only out of market game should be the national championship. I'm like, dude, do you realize how much money those games generate for those cities and to host? It is ridiculous. They are never going to do that because the NCAA is making hand over fist more money than they know what to do with. So there's no way, and the conferences aren't going to do that either.
We talked about this a little bit last week. I think, in this unpopular opinion, I think that if they're going to continue to push the NCAA to run and treat players as if they're already in the NFL, then we need to just better construct the entirety of the league to be around that. I don't think you get rid of the bowl games, but I think the bowl games become the prize of the season for all the teams that are not in a Power Four conference. And I agree that the Power Four conference should have the four conferences, and it should be a NFL style playoff. In all honesty, I mean, if they're going to get paid like they're already in the pros, and they're going to have the behavior like they're already in the pros, and their work ethic is going to be, like I'm here to get paid and that's it, instead of the old school way where it was I'm going to bust my ass every second I can because I have to beat the next guy out or I may not get a job in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
No,
fought so much harder. Now it's, I'm the highest paid. Let me look at Shadur Sanders. Okay. What a bitch.
I
If it
mean,
wasn't for his daddy's name and all
he
the
was
money
not
and all
good
the
at
fame and the
Colorado.
marketing. No,
he was
wasn't.
not good at Colorado. Like, I understand, like, yeah, he is.
But again, if you take him
comes
back
from the name, I
to
get it.
even just the last couple years of the BCS era, he would have never been a starter at any of the big schools.
No.
Nobody would even know who he was because he has no ability to beat out any of those top quarterbacks.
I mean, I think the only talented person on that team was Travis Hunter. It wasn't. It wasn't.
And even then,
Shiloh Sanders
he
or Shador.
did great there, and it'll be interesting to see how he really does in the NFL. But I feel like he had a wasted college career at the same time because he is that good of a player. And yes, he got his high pick, but if me as a player, yes, I know my end goal is to get the NFL, but I don't want to just make it there. I want to actually last there. So therefore, I want to go somewhere where I'm going to be conditioned, coached, trained to be ready for that. Not just, I'm going to go to Colorado, I'm going to beat up on some bullshit teams. I'm actually really not going to even have a great record, but I'll have some good stats.
Yeah.
Get drafted, and then what?
Yeah. I mean, like, I was talking to one of our coworkers about this today. I have a very strong opinion that if you want talent to really translate into the NFL, I'm not saying this, so let me just set this straight. One, you can go to a small school, go in the NFL, and just be an absolute stud. I get that 100%. But let's take this in account too. How many guys come out of a small school? I'm talking like a low Division One F, what is it, FCS school, or yeah, that comes out in FCS, and I'm talking like Western Michigan, Central Michigan, North Dakota State. I'm talking all those low end schools that do play some big time games, and they normally do very well. But a lot of the talent that comes out of there does not translate very well into the NFL. There is, yes, the top 3 wide receivers ever all time have come from small schools. I get that 100%. But in reality, across the 11 positions on offense and defense, most of these guys are coming from powerhouse schools, right? They're coming from top 5 programs. They're coming from those Alabamas, the LSUs, the Clemsons, the Florida States, the Floridas, the USCs, the Oregons. They're coming from all these schools, and then they're going into the NFL. And then even some of them aren't even becoming starters. Like, that's how crazy that we have started making college football. And then even with the NILs and everything that they implemented, like, NILs are a joke, are an absolute joke, because you get guys that are paid millions upon millions of dollars to go and play a football game, make money for the school, get paid doing it, and then go to the NFL and make less money than what they possibly made in college. Like, I'm not saying NILs they shouldn't be paid. No, they should. They should be paid. They're college athletes. They're getting money, you know, pretty much essentially off them by playing a sport, right? I'm saying they need to cap it. Like the most you can make at a certain position, at a quarterback. Oh, it's 1.5 mil over the course of 4 years. That's the most you can make. And, or, so on and so forth. One, it'll make the recruiting a little bit easier and it's a little bit more stretched across the board. And two, you won't have this transfer portal that just becomes like the next NFL
The endless
draft.
carousel.
Like it's the endless, like you could literally go play for 4 different schools in 4 different years. You literally could. And it's just
No,
all
it's even
based
more
on
than
money.
that. See, here's the other bullshit with the transfer portal is I can transfer out and have because if I transfer too late, then I have to wait. I have to sit out a year. And then that's a year of eligibility I get to save. So really I could stay in college for 10 years and just keep transferring around. And eventually I'll run out of my eligibility period and then go. So that whole time I'm just making money the whole time. I think it's I don't know. I hate the NIL. I hate it. I hate it. I understand why they're doing it. You are literally getting an opportunity to go play somewhere for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's be real, right?
Yep.
Whereas so many other people have to walk on, try, they're paying for their own college and then hope that they get a scholarship,
Yeah.
get some
Yeah.
help. Okay? So you're getting paid right out the gate. They're telling you, "Hey, we're going to cover all of your education to go there." First of all, most of them aren't even taking anything that's worth a damn. Let's just be real. They are taking bullshit classes, getting a bullshit degree that they'll never use, and it's the easiest path they could possibly take. Hell, what was it? Tim Tebow taking dance classes just because that was he needed to have classes that he was going to
Yeah.
school for.
Yeah.
Like, so that's a joke to begin with. For me to say that, oh, I deserve to get paid because I'm out there playing. No, they're paying for your college. You're going to get paid, then you pay for your college education out of what
Yeah.
you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Okay. The other part of that is there's so much money that's going into the TV rights and all this other shit. And I think they need to rework the conference TV rights and how that's getting paid out. And that money is what should be going to the NILs. So, unpopular opinion, but there are some schools that have more television airtime, right? They have a higher fan base. They have more people going to be watching
Any
them.
school in the SEC.
Well, not every. I mean, there's
I mean, yeah, outside of like
you have your bigger
Vanderbilt
ones.
and like,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
but
yeah.
as a general whole, in every conference, you're going to have, let's just say, 4 teams that are going to be your top performers, your top earners as far as most people want to watch them, whether it's online revenue, TV time, whatever it is. Okay. They should be getting, I wouldn't say a much larger percentage, but they should be getting a marginally higher percentage of whatever that ad revenue is. And of that ad revenue is what they should be paying out. The school should be paying out their NIL. It shouldn't be boosters and just multimillionaires all over the place that are just paying for this kid to come play at that school. It should be if I'm good enough, one, and I worked my ass off to get recruited to go play for Alabama or Georgia or LSU or whoever that is one of those top earners, and I managed to earn my spot to be the number one in my position on that team. I have locked in. I have put my effort in to lock in and earned the ability to have that portion of the NIL for that spot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And if I get drafted, if I get picked up by the Vanderbilt or whoever, the smaller school in the conference that doesn't have as much of that TV time, right? I still earned something. I still busted my ass. I got to a point. I'm at my skill level, and I'm still going to get paid for it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. That makes sense.
I
It
think
really
that
does.
makes it a much more fair system, and it helps take out all this other bullshit because we saw this with Colorado. Deion Sanders, big name, got money, has all these friends, got money. So all I have to do is just start, bringing in people here. We'll call it a NIL, and you're just going to shell money out to my kids and to these guys, and we're going to bring them all over here. For what? To win 3 games? Like, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I'm sure
Makes no
boosters and
sense.
millionaires that are applying to all these are like, yeah, come on in. What's like I get it. Like you're trying to um build a better, platform. I get it. I really do.
We have anti-tampering rules, right? And,
Um
and regulations within college where you can't tamper with the recruitment and try to incentivize somebody to come to your school. That's always been a thing. You go out, you recruit them, things like that, but outside forces, the booster clubs and all the multimillionaires and stuff, they're not supposed to be buying you cars and doing all this stuff to get you to come to the school. But now we call it an NIL.
Right.
We just put a different tag on it, and now all of a sudden it's okay to just jump from one school to the other. That makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah. No, I mean it does. Well,
So I think there's a better way to do it. I don't
there
think it'll ever
definitely
happen.
is. I personally think that, if we're going to find a way and a common ground to make it more evenly across the board, like NIL does need to get refocused on. I think the conferences, I think we're kind of doomed to go to like a power four conference where it's just four conferences that are, everybody. I mean, the SEC just came out today and said that starting, I believe, next year, they're going to mandatory a 9-game SEC schedule. So that means like 3 or even 2 games are out of conference, and that's it. Just because they have so many schools, you
Well,
can't
and I
get
think
away with.
that's smarter anyways, because I mean, you look at hell, even Alabama's done it. Auburn, some of these big schools, they've had a bad habit, LSU, of scheduling a little bit more out of conference and let's say easier competition
But yeah,
than you really
definitely,
should.
definitely,
Whereas there's other schools that, you know, I mean, us for instance, we have this year we're starting off with Alabama. I think we have one gimme game that's out of conference, and then the only other one that we guarantee to have every year is Florida.
right, right.
You know, if you really want to do well in your conference, you got to play your conference games. You can't
Well,
can't shy away from it.
what about if they did this? Like instead of like mandating that you play a 9-game SEC or ACC or whatever conference you're in, let's just say you take the first 3 games, and let's say you're ranked pre-ranked. So let's say this wonderful system that is, not flawed at all, that is, predicating all your success off of what happened last year, not understanding transfers and everything like that. But whatever, we already got into that. What about if you take your first 3 games and the mandatory, at least 2 of those games have to be within teams within the top 25. So if you're ranked in the top 25, your first 2 games or first 3 games or within that period, at least 2 of those have to be against teams that are also ranked in the top 25.
My only well, two parts to this. My only concern with that is non-conference schedules are usually set 2 to 3 years out.
Right. Right.
So that causes an issue because if I was not ranked in the top 25, then I would not be. How would I know? You know, how would I know
Well,
that who
because
I'm
I think it's a
scheduling in 2 to 3
2-year, isn't
years?
it a 2-year like bid? Like I don't know if Florida State's playing Alabama again next year, but it's like home and away kind of thing. Because I know Missouri did
But
that
that's
against Arizona
different.
State one
You
year.
can set that well in advance, but we're talking about if you're wanting to take the first 3 games or out of the first 4 games, 2 of them have to be against a top 25 team, whether it's in or out of conference. I have no way of knowing in that until the end of the season, and then I have to wait for the preseason ranking and all that. I think as a whole, here's the way I look at this. Going back to what we were talking about last week, take the first 4 games of the year, all right? First 4 games of the season need to be a non-ranked 4 games. Remember, get this whole preliminary and get you out on the field, see how you are, and then we can determine where you are ranking wise. Now,
Hmm.
that being that way, I can schedule out my first 4 games to be pretty stout. Like I have an opportunity to do some bids with some of these other schools that are outside of my conference, whether it's with the SEC or whatever. Because I know that if I schedule an Alabama or Georgia, LSU, whoever, somewhere in that first 4 games, whether they're ranked or not, I'm still getting some good exposure and I'm still going to get a better opportunity to get my team ranked.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Pick
mean,
somebody from the Pac-12, not even Pac-12, but like the Big 10, Big 12, whoever, pick some of these schools. And then I still want to pick maybe a good team out of my conference. So if I could get 3 games out of the 4 that are against teams that are going to have some visibility for me, and then I have one where I can kick the shit out of them just to kind of, feel good about myself, I should have a good rank I should have a good way to be able to lay that out and have stats on the table to be able to say, hey, collectively, all these teams, this is where we shake out the top 25 based on the first 4 weeks of game.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then we could
I
play
like
out the
that.
season from there. I
I
think that
like
would be
that.
the best way to do it. You're going to get a much better tangible set of data to kind of set that out.
Well, I mean, I'm all for it. I think the adage is we just there definitely needs to be some change. I think going in the right direction, mandating a certain amount of games that you have to play within conference is great. It's a good start. But it's definitely going to change here come, you know, when a lot of these schools start, you know, breaking off and joining the SEC, the Big Ten, or from what I understand, the Big 12, or, I think somebody was saying that the Pac 12 is still around, but I don't even know what schools are in there or what schools are potentially going
I
to go
think
in there.
if you mold into that power four and you go into a true playoff system that mirrors what the NFL does, because again, we're getting paid to be NFL players, even though we're not in there.
Yeah.
We might as well have an NFL style season so we know, and it's an easier transition, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're already there.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
I,
hell,
I get
baseball
it.
works along the same lines of what the MLB is going to be. College basketball works along the lines of what you're kind of the playoff system that you would have in the NBA. So I mean, why not?
Hmm.
You know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
why not? Like make this happen. So
Well, I mean, week one is starting Saturday. I'm pretty excited for K State, Iowa State. I know it's K State, Iowa State, but still, it's two ranked teams playing in Dublin. I think it's going to be a great game. I think K State has been projected to be a pretty good school this year, a pretty good team. I think Iowa State's a little overhyped. I think they'll fall out.
I will
I
say this, having been there in that environment before for a football game, it's awesome. They're gonna have a great time there. I would put my money down on the passing team,
Yeah.
whichever team can throw the ball, because it is a real, and I mean
Well,
real grass.
Rocco is coming back for Iowa State, so he will be a 3-year starter for him. So I don't know who K State's quarterback is. And obviously losing DJ Giddens from last year is probably going to hurt. But I would assume K State's going to have some people that are going to come out and just absolutely, you know, manhandle. I would say Iowa State, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to give K
The
State the
team running
edge.
the ball there is gonna
So
lose because it is a true, like, natural turf, and it is slippery as shit. That
yeah,
country is always in rain, it's not a covered stadium, so, having watched that firsthand, like, you're gonna want the team that's passing, like, you're gonna have to get your air game going, so
yeah.
if they're
Well,
if they're expected to run, good luck.
it's going to be a fun 11 a.m. game, even though it's nighttime in Dublin, which is going to be weird.
Hey, it's
I
a
always
great
find it
party out
weird.
there.
I always find it weird whenever you're watching a day game. You're like, it's daytime outside. What is
It is
going on? And
such a
then,
great environment out
so,
there. Anybody
oh,
watching, listening, if you could ever get a chance to go on one of those Ireland trips to Viva Stadium and watch college football there, it is the greatest experience in the world. We all get to go watch college football, and you're talking about people in a country that it's not there. They don't get to watch football. They're lucky if they get to see any sort of a broadcast of any American football game. Usually they're having to watch reruns. So to go there and watch these people just stand in awe while all of us Americans are drinking everything in the house and eating everything in the house. And I'm talking like it was halfway through the first quarter of the game and all the concessions were gone except for cotton candy. There was no water, there was no beer, there was no nothing, there was no food. They were gone of everything. They were not prepared for the Americans. And you have all these Irish people standing around. They think that they're loud and like crazy in soccer. They are not prepped for the or the NCAA fan base. Like it is wild, crazy.
I
So
would love to go.
they're in
I've
for
never
it.
been to Ireland. I would love to go, especially during a football game. That would be hands
It
down
is
the
so
most
fun.
amazing experience. So, another big game that is coming up is
Yeah.
going to be not this weekend. It's like they have school starting this weekend because either they're playing a 12 game season or they're playing in a different country. But next week we have Texas, Ohio State. That's going to be a really good one. And then you have
Texas getting their
Tennessee,
first
Clemson.
Texas getting their first number 1 start ever. Wild.
I
Crazy.
I think, I don't know. I think I'm more like hyped up for that LSU Clemson game. Like in
That's gonna be a good
Clemson,
one.
I think that's going to be a really good one. I don't know. LSU's always seemed to let me down, even though as
They need
much
that
as I want to
rebound.
pull with it,
They need that rebound.
like they do, like that Burrow, Jefferson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire,
I mean, let's
Chase
be real.
here.
The
Like,
last
oh
couple
man,
years, their first game of the year, they've lost to who?
I know, I
Florida
know.
State, a lackluster, we suck ass team, man, but we've knocked them off every year. So
it's like,
they
and,
need to come back.
and I haven't even got a chance to watch that Saturday SEC on Netflix yet, and I know they talked about like LSU, and I think the opening was like, we're here yet again talking about the same thing over and over and over, and I can only imagine what it's about. It's probably about LSU losing week 1, LSU with the expectations losing, LSU getting the expectation they're going to be a top 10 team, and yet they fall out of rankings because they could only win 6 games. So it's going to be interesting to see what LSU can do being ranked as high as they are ranked. I think this might be the highest they've been pre-ranked in a while. They're number 9, and I could be wrong, but number 9, I would assume that'd probably be the highest in like at least the last 3 or 4 years. Clemson being out of 4,
Been there.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
No,
I don't
based
know
on
enough.
last year, and that's a whole nother one, right? Based on last year, which they weren't that great. Let's be real. For you to just suddenly, projectile vomit them up into the top 5,
Yeah,
why? It's
yeah.
Clemson. Okay, I
No,
get it.
I
Dabo's
get it.
there and blah 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 blah, but
I can't believe Dabo is still there. Like I figured that dude would have at least moved on to a different
I mean,
school or gone to the NFL at
can
some
anybody
point.
even
But
name a player from Clemson? I don't even think the Clemson coaching staff can. So let's just be real, okay? They don't even know who they have on the team. So
I mean, outside of the only big name that I know that came out, and I will not say the other name because that is a very sore subject with people. DeAndre Hopkins is a big
no, I'm
name
talking
out
about
of
currently on their roster.
currently. Oh,
Yeah, not even the coaching staff knows who plays for
they're
them.
like, hey,
Okay,
number
like
44. No, I don't need to know your name. I
are
won't
you
care. So
are 44? Are you a fullback?
yeah, what are you?
What are
You?
yeah?
What are you? Don't know.
Okay, today I need you to be this.
Right?
Yeah,
Pretty much. But Texas Ohio State, man.
that's gonna be a good one.
That is gonna probably be I would assume probably like going back all the way through the end of the season, that might be one of the best games of the year. Archie Manning coming out. Let's see what he does. Let's see how he looks. I mean, I know pedigree and everything, and he is a good quarterback. We'll see if all the hype is real around him. I would
We're
assume
gonna
that
talk
he's
about it
probably a
later.
front runner for the Heisman, but I don't know if the name has anything to do with that or if the talent does. So we'll be
I mean, I've
interesting to
watched
see
him
that.
play. I've watched him play the last couple of years. And I get it. He
Yeah, I
hasn't had
mean
like
he's
he hasn't been like the
good.
he hasn't been like the, I'm starting the whole season, all that stuff. He's kind of had his fill in spots and everything. And it's hard to get a routine and kind of get in a groove if you're just in for, little bits here and there. But I don't know. He's gonna have to really have a huge start to the season and get himself in a really good, like, just
Yeah,
movement.
yeah, most
Otherwise,
definitely.
I don't think that I don't think he's got it. Now, that being said, we're gonna talk about it later. I feel like Indianapolis is trying to tank to bring him to Indianapolis, but I
Bring
mean,
him to
why
Indy.
else why else would you put 85-year-old Joe Flacco as your starting quarterback?
Well,
Okay, like,
that's Cleveland.
oh, that is
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Cleveland.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
Cleveland. They have
Yeah.
Anthony
Oh, that's even
Richardson
worse.
going.
Yeah,
So,
that's
um,
even worse. Never mind. I still think that
yeah.
they're going to tank.
I mean, you know, hey, prove it, right?
The
Prove
Mannings
it.
own the town, so why not, right?
Exactly, exactly. I will say this though,
Collusion.
um, Missouri, man, they're in some trouble. I'm almost rooting, hoping Brady Cook would come back, but they're going to be running 2 quarterbacks in the first game, and so that just tells me two things. One, you don't know who your starter is, and two, you don't know who you can trust.
Did they play a spring game?
Yeah, they did.
See, now that's
So
very concerning.
like the crazy thing is Drinkowitz came out and was like, yeah, both of them can play quarterback. Both of them are versatile, and Sam Horn's good, and Bo, both can play. That's yeah, they can play. And I was just like, all right, dude. So you have no quarterback. One, you don't trust them in any situation of the passing game, and the fact is that you won't go out and physically come out and say who your actual starter is. Like at this point, you need to stick with somebody. If there needs to be a battle, you need to figure that out in practice. Like you need to figure that out, because
It
all
almost
you're going to do
sounds
is you're going to take reps away whenever somebody may need reps. Like we can't sustain after these first three games. We can't have like this, Franklin and Daniels situation again, where we had Franklin come in and do Wildcat and Daniels go in and just play. Now, granted, yeah, if it's scripted play for a Wildcat situation, then that's fine. But we just can't. We can't have this. Like it's just that, like we are going to waste too much of a top recruiting class that we have had this year, which is a top 5 recruiting class in Missouri. It has been one of the best, and yet we are staring down the barrel of pissing that away without having a solidified quarterback. So good thing in the first game is against Central Arkansas. You should beat the living tarnation out of them, but we'll see.
it really sounds a lot like based on that kind of a statement that there's some exterior pressure maybe
Yeah. Yep.
pulling forces of like, no, we want this person in, no, we want this person in, and almost getting to the point of like, all right, you know what? We're gonna let it be decided in week 1 on the field. And whichever one can lights out show up, that's the one we're gonna stick with. Screw all the rest of you guys. But to your point, like grow a pair, pick a person,
Yeah. I mean, I
and
would
go
have.
with them.
I would, to
Because
be honest
you're
with
killing
you.
their confidence. You're killing that person's confidence if you're saying, well, I don't know about either one of you. Now they're both going to be on the fence of like, okay, what are we doing here? And you have that resentment between the two of them because they're like, okay, are you in my way? Am I in my way? Are we really both just that crappy? And then
Yeah.
you have the whole receiving core they have to get that relationship built. And it's hard to do that when you're doing it to two people because they
It,
both have a different mentality. They both have a different play style
and it
to be
does
on that same click.
it is, and it doesn't matter that you're playing Central Arkansas or if you're playing, Western Michigan, or you're paying,
They could run
you
the
know,
field with you.
you have no idea, because here's the thing: those 3 first games are really important to build chemistry, like you said, with a quarterback and a wide receiver, even with the tight end and a running back, because each quarterback hands the ball off different. Each quarterback releases the ball in a different slot angle. So it's like getting on the same page with 2 different quarterbacks is very hard to do, because you're trying to go, all right, so Bo's in. Yeah, Bo came from the Nittany Lions. He came from Penn State, and he has 424 yards and 9 touchdowns and only 1 interception, 66% completion. Okay, great. And he's had 24 games throughout his career. 24 games. I would almost be going, hey, Bo, it's your time. It's your time to shine. Sam, you're going to be back there. Bo's not getting it done within the first 3 games. We're not seeing any progression. That's where at practice, Sam, you're going to be taking, second team snaps so that you are understanding the playbook, and so your receivers can get on the same page. Like, not doing this back and forth bullshit for the next 3 games going, hey, yeah, you're both going to split quarters. You're going to take the first half, or split halves. You're going to take the first half, Sam, and Bo, you're going to take the second half. Like this, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this. Like, I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But the other thing that's happening is preseason. I would assume whenever we're talking like Heisman front runners, like preseason, like we're kind of just naming names realistically. We're not going off of like who should win Heisman based off of, because we feel they're going to have this amount of projection and everything. So I would say my early bet on Heisman would be Archie Manning or Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood from Michigan, very talented, 6'4", 220 plus freshman who's 18 years old and is going to come and take the helm of a Wolverines team that has had a lot of highs lately. And
They're stacked.
they are one of the most scary teams that I would not want to play. And my wife is all from Ohio, so there is a massive rivalry between my wife's side of the family. Like half of them are Michigan fans, half of them are Ohio State fans. And I will tell you the consensus from a lot of the Ohio State fans is like, oh shit, Michigan's actually going to be pretty fucking good this year. I'm not saying Ohio State's not going to be good because Ohio State is normally always good, but I would be on the lookout for Michigan. Michigan is going to probably, I would say, crack the top four and stay there and not go away. So we're going to come down to another year where it's going to be Michigan, Ohio State, end of the year. And it's going to be, whoever wins it goes to the, Big Ten championship. So it'll be interesting to see with college football kicking off next week. And again, as scores and as games play out, we will cover way more into college football just because of just the complexity of it. Like there's going to be a lot of upsets this year. I think there's going to be a lot of teams that just fall and just, that's just how it goes whenever you start putting all these teams in the same conference.
Can we just start week 1 with an
I know.
Alabama fall?
Yeah, just have Alabama lose. I understand they're good.
Stomped, bend over, put your teeth on the curb, and spread your butt cheeks. Just beat the living crap out of them.
Right, 100%, 100%. I'm 100% with you. I despise Alabama. I really do. I not because they're a good football team and I hate good football teams. No, not because of that. It's just because Alabama just gets so much hype, and it's just eventually they're going to get knocked off the peg, and it will happen. Somebody did a story is Texas becoming the next Alabama of college football, where they're just going to continue to run it, and I don't think you can't have another football team like an Alabama, like the run that Nick Saban had. I don't see that ever happening again. But I can see teams trying to make a case for it.
I think the
really
only team that honestly could make that run is Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. He's going to be the only one that's poised, even remotely in a position, and has the ability to do it just as a person, as a coach, to be able to run something like that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We're talking about Alabama. I mean, they literally, their whole thing is row tide because they can't spell elephant. So, I mean, that's really what it is. But anyways, we could move on.
Well, I mean, let's hope, Georgia playing Alabama in September is, as just the most anticipated game as everyone believes it is, because I always love a Georgia Alabama football game. I just, ever since the national title and SEC championship games and everything just that happened, I am all a fan for just letting the Bulldogs eat. I'm all a huge fan of it. All right, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to some golf. I said we were gonna talk about some golf last week. We are gonna talk about some golf. All right, so my boy Ricky Fowler missed it by 2 slots. He had a blunder on 15, 16 and just couldn't recover. So Ricky Fowler had a great year, but he did qualify for all the signature events for next year. So that's great. Ricky's kind of gonna hopefully find some steam, get back up there. I'd love to see him win a major. I think he is the most talented, unrealistic, not major out there right now. He has been so close for so long and he just can't close the door. So hopefully he can win one. But the big thing is can anybody stop Scotty Scheffler? Can anybody do it? I don't know. This dude is the most comparison person to Tiger Woods that I have seen in my 20 odd years of watching golf. I watched Tigers run growing up with my dad and my uncle. I remember watching just win after win after win, after major. And then, watching him in 2019 win the Masters was just the most amazing emotional moment that I had outside of now this year watching Rory McIlroy win the Masters and like close it out, finish the slam. Like I like my my wife walked in. She's like, "Why are you crying?" I was like, "Cause this right here, like
History. Yeah.
it's history. Like you see somebody that has worked so hard and been so close, and then it just happens. And that Bryson DeChambeau crap that he's like, oh, he didn't talk to me all day, blah blah blah. Well, I don't blame him. Like the dude is trying to chase history. He's trying to close out his grand slam. Like that. Let that dude do whatever he wants. He wants to go take a piss behind a tree. Screw it. I'm letting him do it. So, like that. That was just an unbelievable Masters this year. But man, Scotty Scheffler.
So how much, I mean, while we're on the topic of golf, how much of a difference or a change do you think it was for them to remove the whole handicap era to just go back to starting strokes
for
in the
for
tournament
the
and
for the
the tour?
championship.
Yeah.
Oh man, I will tell you this. I hated having the strokes gained based off a position that you played. One, you don't get that in any other tournament. You don't get that in the Masters. You don't get that. Like I get you build points, and
Yeah.
so what they did is like you get a prize for winning the FedEx Cup race to get into the championship. I think they started implementing this year where you get like an extra like 10 mil or something just for taking top place. But then I'm a big fan of letting them show it on the course for the top
Yeah,
30.
I mean,
Like
it's your
you were
top
good enough
30,
to
right? So, I mean,
like the dude is sitting in second right now at 7 under, right behind Russell Henley. So like the dude is obviously really good. Like let's not like he doesn't need 10 strokes to beat a field. That was just giving him 10 strokes to just fuck around with. That's literally all it was doing. And so I'm a big fan of them going like, hey, no more sandbagging. Like you just can't just tool around for 2 days, let some people in and go, all right, so for the next 36 holes, I'm just gonna shoot lights out. Like
yeah,
that.
you're getting that practice for 2 rounds. Like that's not how that works.
Exactly. And like you have two guys that are under par right now, or over par right now. And then everybody else is even all the way up through 9 under. So like if you like just think about that. If Scotty started at 10 under right now, he'd be at 17 under already. And he would be probably, let's see here, who would be closest? He would be at least 8 shots up already. Like you tell me, like I give you, that's like going to a pro and saying, hey, you're going to start 18 under par or 18 over par, and you and I playing together are going to start 18 under. We would get our ass kicked still. And now you're giving that to the pros. You're going, hey, I'm going to give this guy a 10 shot lead. And you're like, I'm not even in the good enough to crack to make a pot like 3 under to start the round. There's no way you're going to catch him. There's no way. So it just puts everything on an even playing field across the board. It gives the opportunity to the guys that would originally, hey, congratulations, you made the top 30 on the tour. You made the FedEx Championship. But guess what? You're not going to win. But congratulations. You qualified for all the majors next year. Well, great. I could do that on my own. I'm here to win the biggest purse that I possibly can, which is $40 fucking million.
Yeah,
And
10,
you're going to
10 if
give
you
it to the
take the top
guy.
spot.
Like this dude, Scotty Scheffler this year has unbelievable amount of wins this year. It's insane. You want to go, You've had back-to-back 5+ wins on a season, and nobody has done that since Tiger Woods in 2005 and 2006 and 2007. And you're going to give that dude a 10-shot lead.
Yeah, no, let him win on his own merit. I completely agree. I think it's kind of dumb. That would be like we're going into the national championship game, and Georgia has just won by a higher margin in all their games this year. So we're going to go ahead and give them a 2-touchdown lead just to start the game, and hope that you can come back and take advantage of that. Like, that's what sense does that make? Like, we're supposed to start at a 0-0. Can you, on your own merit, beat the 29 other people that are in that tournament? If you can't, then hey, do better next year. If you win by a shot, well, at least we know the playing field is pretty even. It's a better competition at that point. But it's gonna be cool. I mean, yeah, you got Scheffler and McIlroy are paired up. That's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is like we take for granted like what Tiger Woods did with like the technology that he had, the ball technology that he had. He did that all off of like grit, will, and just he's the fucking goat, outside of Jack Nicklaus, like the fucking goat. But now you put him on with the same technology as Scotty Scheffler, and let's just now throw this back. Let's put Scotty Scheffler and Tiger Woods at the same age point in time. So if like 28 and 28 or 27 and 27, we give them this technology that we have now, who's the better golfer? That's how you should compare it. It shouldn't be back whatever. And I have talked about this about baseball. I've talked about football. I've talked about this for everything. This fucking comparison act that we do from players that played 15 years ago to players that play now has to fucking stop. Because
Jordan and LeBron.
Like, yes, the game is different. Like, it is completely different. So you
Jordan's
need to
era is what set the stage for that early 2000s transition, where you had the Suns that ran everything, kind of that transition there to, Steph Curry coming around, and then that changed the whole game itself. And then now you have, it all evolves little by little.
It does. And
So
that's what I just don't get is like, we're going to sit here and compare Scotty Scheffler to Tiger Woods. Well, it's like, give him the same equipment, the same age, and just bring him now. If you had the ability, who's the better golfer? Well, hands over fist, it's probably going to be fucking Tiger because of the sheer talent that he has. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Scotty Scheffler. Scotty Scheffler is a God-given talent and an unbelievable golfer.
he's also playing with newer technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So take him back, or bring Tiger Woods up, or do both.
It's still Tiger. It's still Tiger. So, like, it's unfair to be comparing Scotty Scheffler to Tiger Woods because of what Scotty Scheffler is doing now. I get it. He's on par to do the same things that Tiger has done, but he would have to completely dominate over the next 10 years and continue to win 5+ events every single year, win majors every single year. And then not on top of that, but like if anybody ever wants to eclipse Tiger Woods' world ranking of how long he was world number one, it's insane. Like I don't think that is ever going to happen ever, period. Just because you have way too many good young golfers now that are coming out of college that have had a better upbringing in golf because of what Tiger Woods has done, because of what all these players have done. And they've gotten into it more. There's more lessons out there. There's better ability to get to courses. There's more ability to
TikTok channels to watch to learn how to fix your swing.
Exactly. It is true though. It is true. Like right now, as we sit here and talk, there is probably some golf prodigy that is hitting into a net in a backyard, and that's all he does is hitting a net and hitting a net. And not saying that these pros hadn't done that, but I'm talking about the pure technology base of it. Like they're looking at a TrackMan going, oh, if I just close my face a little bit, I get a little bit tighter withdrawal. Or if I open and if I release my hips too high and my hands lag, oh, I'm pushing it right. Like they have the ability to see all this stuff now. Tiger didn't. It was all pure feel. It was all pure feel, hit thousands of golf balls, blah, blah, blah. here you go. So, it'll be interesting to see how this weekend wraps up. But Scotty's sitting at 7 under. If we were back last year, this dude would have already won the tournament. So I wouldn't even watched it. But now I have a reason to watch Saturday, Sunday. I can't see realistically anybody pulling away. I mean, there's a lot of people within 3 shots. So, and East Lake is a tough course. Like it is a gauntlet, and they changed a lot of it last year, and they changed it for the better. So it is playing a lot harder than what it has in years past. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But man, I don't think anybody's gonna touch Scotty Scheffler for a while. I really don't. I think that dude. And then the Ryder Cup coming up. USA's in trouble. Their field that they fielded, their automatic qualifying, I think 6 or 8. It's not that good. It's not. It's I hope Keegan can figure something out and pick some right people that can bring up that field, because I think we're about to lose the Ryder Cup on home turf at Bethpage here next month. So I don't know. It'll be some interesting news in golf coming up. But all right, we're going to make a little shift here. We're going to go into NFL and cover preseason week 2. Both Eagles and Chiefs lost. Chiefs lost pretty bad.
Are we going minus my insane outbursts against certain teams in the organization?
Yeah, no, we won't bring that one back up. That'll be for when the season actually starts. So
it was a good warm up though.
But Chiefs lose 33-16. Rainy, kind of downright crappy conditions. It was just a really bad game for the Chiefs. I made a point last year to say if anybody on our first team gets hurt, second team comes in, we are in trouble. It is kind of looking like that again. Man, we had a ton of injuries. Just way too many, and that's why I was saying that's why you do not put starters on a rainy, wet turf field like you AstroTurf or whatever you want to call it. Like it just is not the greatest conditions to play in. And 2, it's your second game of the year. Injuries are prone to happen, and sure enough, they did. Felix Nduke-Uzama is out for the year. Granted, he was battling for a roster spot, but out, completely gone. We already lost Dion Bush, which was going to be a special teams guy. Already lost him. We had a lot of minor tweaks. Noel Williams got a concussion, so I'm sure he'll be back. Najee Johnson had an ankle or a hamstring, something like that. So we just had a lot of injuries. So our defense is in a pretty tough spot right now. And I'm just saying, I think it's the same year, same story. Second team defense just not getting it done. It's filled with a lot of rookies. It's filled with a lot of guys that have only had 1 year under their belt, not a lot of reps. So I don't know. I'm now almost on the bandwagon of like we need to bring somebody in. We need to bring like a Justin Simmons in, somebody to fill that back role. Yeah, it's just not looking good. Now, granted, a lot of the starters were not starting. So they're going to fill a lot of those gaps. But it did not look good on the defensive side.
Yeah,
like it really didn't.
I mean, it's preseason. I mean, you don't want to see injuries. You don't want to see all that crap happening, especially to your second string. Eagles just sucked. They just didn't care. I guess I don't know. I think we played the cheerleaders that week. I mean, we really wasn't. It wasn't meant to. You could tell just by play calling and everything. They were just trying to feel out the potential of a lot of the bench players and see if they could pull and place them in other packages, at will whenever they need. Because I mean, the starting offense and the starting defense is locked. I mean, we know what we have. We know that they're going to work together and they're going to click. Hey, we need a breather. Can we bring somebody in? Can we put them in different spots? And what can we do? I mean, it was cool to watch. Man, I can't remember his name. Dude's a rookie, came right in. He's third string, got a pick six. I mean, that's all
Andrew
fun.
Makuba.
Yeah,
Andrew Makuba.
It's always fun to see that. For these guys, it's a big boost for them. But it's a big spotlight for the coaching staff, like, hey, okay, this guy does have a good read. He is showing out that he can do this. If we need to, we can throw him in there. It did suck for us though. We
Yeah,
lost
because
Johnny
you guys
Wilson.
need so much help on defense.
Yeah, we really do. We lost Johnny Wilson. He's out for the year with the knee and ankle injury. He's got season-ending surgeries coming now. So maybe not a starting wide receiver, but that's a big body to have as a second string to just throw into a
Yeah.
package. You have the ability to kind of just pinpoint the ball up high and just let him get in there those short yards or the end zone. But, we just picked up John Mechie the third.
Yeah,
Could be a
good
good
trade.
pickup.
It was a good
Great
trade from
pickup.
Houston. I think he came out of Alabama as a top receiver and went to Houston, and I figured with C.J. Stroud and him would just light things up. But I don't think anybody imagined how good Nico Collins and Tank Dell were going to be. And then on top of that, you have John Mechie that I'm pretty sure he had some like major health problem that came up. And so like he had to take some time off from football to get that right and has always been on the back foot. So I would imagine he's probably going to come in and compete for like maybe your fourth on the depth chart. I know you guys have Smith and AJ Brown, and then you guys have Dwan Dotson, and then maybe him, maybe Mechie.
Yeah, and I think that's where they were hoping to put Johnny Wilson up there in that spot, be able to kind of fill that role.
Yeah, that slot role kind of thing.
And then all of a sudden now you have him out, so you're losing that 6'5", 6'6" body.
So he was the go up and get guy.
Yeah,
So
and Johnny Wilson's fast. I mean, he's a big boy. He's fast, but he's got hands for days. I mean, he's
yeah,
just it's like throwing to the uprights. Um, so I mean, it was kind of fate. We had already got the trade going for Mechie, and then Johnny Wilson gets hurt today, so kind of sucks. But hey, at least
well,
we
I
have
mean,
somebody to throw in that spot. We should be pretty set.
the one thing with the Eagles is like as long as you have that line and you have Barkley back there, and then Hurts. Like Hurts was one of my favorite pickups that the Eagles ever drafted. I knew that dude coming out of Oklahoma was going to be a stud in the
Bad,
NFL.
angry,
Like
play angry.
oh man, that dude from snap one, like instantly, I was like, man, this dude is gonna be a stud. This dude is gonna be so good. This dude is gonna be like almost the next like Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb mixed together. Now, obviously,
He's
Donovan
so
McNabb had
quiet.
that arm strength, but
Well, and I think that's the whole other thing, though. I think he has the arm strength. He just doesn't showcase it because why? Why should you? Why should you put yourself in a position to have that risk when you don't have to?
yeah,
But then you get games like, even against the Chiefs there, like, okay, we don't have to, but I'm going to sling this ball down there and I'm going to pinpoint it right in the middle of the defense.
yeah, he threw some really good throws in the Super Bowl.
With
Like
very
just
effortlessly. Like
yeah,
you don't expect that. Everybody's like, oh, he's not a great quarterback. He can run the ball and he can hand it off, but then all of a sudden, bam. Like
he's smart. He knows how to
so
read defenses, and he knows how to put people in different alignments and call coverages and everything. So I think he's one of the, I would say, top five quarterbacks. Now you have to give him the praise. He's like at least one of the top fives in the league. Like you have to do that. Like in years past, I understand you didn't have to do that, but you have to give him the respect now. You have to put him up there with the
I
Joe
like him
Burrows and the
staying
Josh
quiet.
Allens and the
Stay
Patrick
quiet,
Mahomes.
stay under the radar and just continue to perform and continue to just and I think that's what he wants. I think he wants people to just talk shit because
Yeah, yeah.
all he
I
gets to do
mean,
is go out there and just continue to play angry. They did that when he was in college. They talked shit. They talked shit about him being behind Tua. Then he left. He went to Oklahoma. They talk shit. Oh, you can't hack it at Alabama. You're going to go somewhere else. He goes to Oklahoma and just kicks everybody's ass. Played angry.
yeah. That dude
So
had
I mean,
unbelievable year at Oklahoma.
yeah, his work
Unbelievable.
ethic is there. It shows. So
Did he win the
I
Heisman? Didn't he win the Heisman that year for Oklahoma? Or who was it that won the
oh man,
Heisman? Was it Bryce Young? No.
I think
Joe Burrow? Was it Joe Burrow's year? Didn't Burrow and Hurts come out the same year? 2019?
yeah, it was Burrow.
2020? Was
Yeah.
Burrow? Okay.
Uh huh.
That's what I thought. So, yeah,
which I mean is laughable. I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Burrow. Don't get me wrong. Like, they've had their
But look who
spouts, and
Burrow had to throw to. Like Burrow had Jamar Chase,
yeah.
Jefferson, and then he also had Moss's son as the tight end. Like in like what are you gonna do? Like that line was unbelievable too. That defense was lights out. Like
Then
nobody could
coming
do
to
anything with
college
that
or coming to the
defense.
NFL, though. I mean, you look at what Burrow's done since then. I mean,
He's
they've
had
had some great
injuries. He's
seasons.
had
They've had some
injuries
great
and
seasons
he's had some
and
good
whatever,
seasons
but
and everything, but he's been hurt. He is an injury prone quarterback. Like, let's not sugarcoat that. Like his
so
knee, his wrist, his
yeah.
ankle, like whatever you want to call it, his fingers, like he has had. Now, I'm not taking away that he's not a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback, but he has some health problems, and that team has not gotten better. Like that preseason game this past week, like they should have got Joe Burrow out of there like 4 or 5 plays before they did. Like that dude was getting manhandled. Um, and if that doesn't tell you, Abdullah from the New York Giants is going to be a fucking problem this year. Like he is going to give some people some headaches and some problem. And Kansas City plays them, I'm pretty sure week 3, Monday night. Oh boy, strap in your bootstraps there, Kingsley, because you're about to get fucked up if you don't play better. Because man, that dude, I don't know. I don't know. Like I was thinking, like the first game, first preseason against Arizona, he messed up a little bit, but watching the Seattle game, it was bad. It was bad. The line played good, but it's leaving me a little worried again on that left guard spot. I would almost put now where we need to kick maybe Caliendo back in there. Maybe Jalen Moore needs to now start taking some snaps at left guard instead of right tackle, splitting time with Juwan Taylor. I don't know. I want to hopefully think that it's still repetition, it's still brand new, it's still trying to get feet under him and trying to understand technique more than anything. And I'm hoping that's what it is, but it did not look good on Friday. It did not.
How do we feel about Sky Moore going to 49ers?
100% happy. 100% happy. Like happy for him, happy for the team. He just did not translate very well in this system. Too many mistakes, too many drops, too many self-inflicted things. Like I'm not saying he's not a good player. He is a good player. He has the ability to be a good kick returner, punt returner, and wide receiver 5. So you come in there on your go routes and everything. But hopefully he can go to the 49ers and he can give them something that they may not get this year. I don't know if Ayuk is going to come back. I don't
They
know what
need
the
it.
stint of Jennings is being like, because if you have only Ricky Parcells as your receiver and then Kittle, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be a rough year, I think, for the 49ers. Happy for him though. I think he will make that team. He will play. But it's going to be an up and down year for them. So,
Can we just talk real quickly about the bald eagle making his first ever top
oh
100?
yeah, I remember you
Like
sending me this.
Mr. Washed up linebacker. Nobody was
Yeah,
going to do anything with him. He sucked. He just needed to retire. Zach Bond is now number 26. Everybody, number 26 on the NFL top 100 list. The bald eagle has finally landed. He has got
deserved,
himself a spot.
deserved,
Well
well
deserved.
deserved, well
AJ Brown
deserved.
landed at number 29. Lane Johnson jumped up from 41 to 23. That's some big
I'm
big
gonna
stats for
give
those guys.
some love for Bond.
The
So
look on his face when he got told that, I think it was at practice, he got told that. The look on his face, man, it was just like pure excitement and joy. I mean, you could just see it in his, like he never expected that. Like he thought he was
well,
going to go play there, and
who would? I mean, at that point, you're like, oh, I'm being told I'm washed up, I'm no good, and everything. But yet, I had my best career year ever, and then was able to sign a
and
massive
signed
contract,
a monster contract,
massive
and has
contract
been
because of it.
lights freaking out in practice in the locker room. Like everybody's got this guy like on a pedestal. He's ready to go. He's fired up and excited and happy, and just grateful. Honestly, more than anything, you can see it in the way he acts. He is just, yeah. I'm glad. I'm glad
It's
he's there.
I am too. I think he did well deserved, and he definitely showed out last year, and it's good to see players like that work really, really hard to do what they do, and then get shoved down the gullet of like, oh, you're no good, blah blah blah, and then go and land on a team first year, have the year that he had last year, go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. Yes, it like it is a true amazing moment. He should have that moment. He should have that
He
fu
wasn't the
moment.
only one, you
So,
know? He was told he was washed up, Saquon was told he was washed up, like, you had all these guys that got
oh, you're
picked up,
never going to come
they
back from the injuries and
yeah,
everything.
and
I
just
yeah,
outperformed everybody in the league,
yeah, yeah.
so
I think they definitely had a chip to prove. I would say, obviously that 2022 team had a different chip, and I remember they were saying like there was a couple players that were there explaining like this isn't 2022. This isn't that same team. Yes, some of us have a reason for us wanting to beat Kansas City, but we have been talked about all year and all like, oh, a lot of our guys are washed up, blah blah blah, and they just went out and they just proved that no matter what you say, you're still just a critic, and we're gonna put whatever we want on paper. That's fine, do it, but we're gonna be the dictators of how our season goes. And so this week, what are we looking for? So we got Chiefs at home against the Bears, and you got Eagles at Jets. Um,
Mhm.
Ravens Commanders. There's some good preseason 3 games. I mean, I think what you should start having is you should start seeing a lot more of the starters starting, going, getting game ready, getting season ready. So I would assume most of every Eagles, all their team one is going, which will be awesome to see because against Jets defense has been really good the last couple of years. So we'll see if it can translate now. So we're going up against Fields and everything. So we'll do that. We'll cover that
let's just
a little
say
bit more.
it's gonna be a lot of running.
Barkley running just all over the
But not
place.
even just that, it's gonna be a lot of Justin Fields running for his life because I highly doubt Fangio is gonna be dialing up any kind of blitz packages. It's gonna be, "Let's just continue to push that front four, and we're gonna make this kid regret his life."
I don't know. Justin
Let's
Fields
just
is
be
pretty
real.
quick. Justin Fields is a good quarterback. He,
Have you
yeah,
seen how fast those guys are on the line, okay?
I'm
Mahomes is
not
pretty quick too,
saying
okay?
I'm not saying I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like let's give Justin Fields a
I
little bit more
I
props.
wanna
All
see them
right.
go out there and just beat the living crap out of them all.
I really want to
I
see
want it to
Justin
be
Fields just go out and just ball this year. That's what I want to see. I want to
I can
see
do that.
him prove everything that I have been saying for years about this dude. I saw him coming out of Ohio State, and I thought he was a great quarterback out of Ohio State. I knew him going to Chicago was going to be a death sentence just because, one, they would not build a team around him. Two, when they did, they decided to draft Caleb Williams, and they bring in all these other pieces. And that's the other thing that we're going to talk about here in a minute. Was we're going to talk about Caleb Williams, and that's going to bridge in with this Bears Chiefs game. All right, so Andy Reid came out and said today or yesterday that starters will start and they will at least play a full quarter. So good. One, I see that game just not ending the way that Chicago wants him to end. I think Kansas City's starting offense is, I would say, top 3 right now. Just with Mahomes, Pacheco, Travis Kelsey looking the way he does, with Rice, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Tyquan Thornton, Juju Smith Schuster, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And I think if that line stays healthy, and they figure out Kingsley kind of figures out technique wise, that might be one of the best offensive lines in the league. Um, just because Josh Simmons is just a stud. And then obviously, you get with Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. And Jawan Taylor, he's going to get penalties, but whatever. We know that's going to happen. So I think Caleb Williams is, again, being overhyped. He did have a impressive performance. He was 6 for 10 with 107 yards and a touchdown. I have not been a Caleb Williams fan. I have always thought that he is just not an NFL quarterback caliber talent. USC, his last year, kind of proved that. It's an all about me show instead of it's all about the team show. And
Helen dictating where he goes if he's going to go to the draft and stating that he's not going to play if he gets drafted by certain teams.
Yep.
Is wild.
Not working
That
out at
is
the combine.
Wild. Like you have that is a byproduct of a shitty NIL. I'm entitled to whatever the fuck I want.
Yep.
Society right there.
Yep. I think he should have just stayed at Oklahoma. I mean, if he really realistically wanted to have a better chance at changing my opinion, at least, which again, my opinion doesn't amount for shit, but whatever. In my opinion, stay at Oklahoma. Prove it at Oklahoma. Don't follow your head coach that had every intention, that's always said, oh, I'll never leave Oklahoma, and then all sure enough shit signs a massive contract with USC, and look at what they're at now. USC has been absolute ass. So I do not agree with the whole Caleb Williams hype year. Caleb Williams is this, Caleb Williams is that. I don't. Yeah, you brought in Joe Tooney. Yeah, you did build up that line. Joe Tooney is an aging left guard. All right, he tore his pec, a season ago. So I can't put him in that boat. I can't. Caleb Williams has not proved enough in his rookie season. I mean, it's pretty sad when Chicago has not had an over 4,000 yard passer, and they said that this man is supposed to do it. Yeah, they said that about Justin Fields. Well, you didn't give him a line. Yeah, well, you didn't give him receivers. You didn't give him a running back.
Your whole entire playbook was designed around quarterback runs for Fields.
I literally went and watched the Chicago Bears play the Kansas City Chiefs when Chicago came to Kansas City in a regular season game, and Kansas City just beat the living shit out of them because Caleb Williams was running for his life. So it's like, you want to build a caliber team. You don't go and draft a quarterback that goes 6-6, throws a tantrum on the sideline, cries at his mom's lap because he didn't win a game. And then you go draft him one, but yet he refuses to work at the combine. He refuses to do all this, he refuses to do all that. And then you want to sit here and try to blow smoke up my ass about him being a great quarterback and that he should have a great year. Yeah, he should have a great year. Look what the fuck you did on the line. You should have a good year, but he's not going to do it because he's too much being compared to Patrick Mahomes, and he still thinks he's Patrick Mahomes, or he thinks that his game models what Patrick Mahomes does. Well, I'm sorry. There's only one person that's Patrick Mahomes, and it's fucking Patrick Mahomes. That's it. Until you win X amount of Super Bowls and go to X amount of AFC championships or NFC championships, what it is, then I'll start comparing you. But yet the fact is that you haven't. There's only one king right now at the quarterback, and that is fucking Patrick Mahomes because of what he's done. Who else? Who?
One quarterback that's beat him twice now in 2 Super Bowls.
Who?
Jalen Hurts, man.
He's beat him in 1 Super Bowl.
No, he technically beat him in the first one. The defense lost that game.
Just because he had more yards and all this shit doesn't, whatever. Who gives a shit? All it matters is that L was on that scoreboard at the end of that, and the W was under the Chiefs. And yes, I'm sorry, but fucking Juju was held. And Juju, like, the dude even came out and admitted it. He was like, yep, I fucking held him. I thought he wasn't going to call it. And I was like, well, that's the problem. You put it in the ref's hands, and you know what? Let's see how much the refs can help us here. Yeah, because the refs are on our payroll, guys. They help us draft players. They help us, all the time.
They are on your payroll. They are on your payroll. Just that particular game, they weren't allowed to be. So it's okay.
The check didn't clear.
I do agree. I do think that the Bears kind of shot themselves in the foot, but then again, they've been doing that for how many years? So it's not a surprise. But I don't think I would have drafted Caleb Williams. I think if I was the Bears, it would have been smarter to
Pick up the fifth
play.
year on Fields. Pick up the fifth year, let him go.
Even if you're just not sold on Fields, if you're just that determined that you want to get a different quarterback, play down and get Penix or somebody else, like somebody that you can develop, somebody that actually has the work ethic and wants to do something. I mean, even get smart, get JJ McCarthy or some of those guys. I mean, there were so many better options that came out of the draft last year than
Yeah.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Guys that actually have the build and the ability to play. It would have been more fun to watch Jaden Daniels or some of those guys come out and play in Chicago. And Chicago put that money out there to try to build around them. They had to
Can you
pick up
imagine
somebody
Jaden Daniels in Chicago? Holy shit. Like that jeez. I like that's insane.
but that's they wouldn't have had to waited long.
And here's
They-
the thing, I thought
They
Caleb
could have
Williams was going to go to
taken that
Washington.
first pick and got anybody. They went with the one dude who did nothing but run his mouth and be a shithead the entire time leading up to that NFL draft. If I am the owner or if I am the GM and I am sitting there getting ready to pick who I'm going to pull on my draft board for my number one pick, and all I hear is this kid chirping about who he's going to play for and all this bullshit, he can go fuck himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if I'm that GM, I feel like all 32 GMs should have got together and said, fuck this kid.
100%. Like I originally
happened to
thought
Shedeur.
he was going to go to Washington because
Look what happened to
of
Sanders.
Cliff
The
Kingsbury.
dude sat there till what sixth round or whatever, fifth round, fourth round, whatever, to finally get picked up. Like bawling his eyes out because he was supposed to be the best player in the country and blah 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 blah, and just tanked because he wasn't. Caleb Williams is not. He just isn't. If he would shut his mouth and put his work ethic out there and like actually learn to play the game and evolve and learn the offenses and defenses and really put in some effort and just shut up. Let everything come out on the field.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
could have been, but he chirped. And
I guess we'll see. We'll see
Drake
what Williams
May, any of
does.
those guys.
You could probably throw out every single person from last year and this year, and I think they're
Except
better
Bo
than
Nix.
Caleb
Fuck
Williams.
Bo Nix.
You got to give Bo Nix props. Like he's played in NCAA for what 20 years. I've seen the look. So
It's true. I think he's got kids that are playing on teams now that he played against.
He reminds me of Brandon Whedon, Oklahoma State quarterback that was like 27, 28 or something like that.
Bo Nix reminds me of the guys that end up playing for BYU. After they go on their 10-year missionary run,
right?
And they come back, and then now they start playing in college at 28 years old. Now they're
I still have 4 years of eligibility. I'm 35.
This is stupid, man.
Trust me, my arm won't fall off. I promise it won't.
Yeah, you're
it's still
playing
good.
against
Still good.
playing against these old guys.
God.
Oh man.
If I was that old playing in college football and I had like some 18-year-olds, I bet they would be leaving like crutches and like canes and walkers all over my shit and stuff. Like, no, I'm good. I'm all right.
Well, we do that now just because you're injury prone as it is.
100%. Yeah, we've lived that one. So there's one quarterback that I want to talk about. Joe Flacco. 40-year-old Joe Flacco is the
Can we start calling him Sleepy Joe now?
I mean, maybe. I mean, at this point, like everybody just sleeps on Joe, so we'll just call him Sleepy Joe because damn, that dude is now the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, and he beat out Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. So,
I mean, I expect that.
I 100% did, but Joe Flacco, Joe Flacco, and one, shame on Cleveland for drafting not one but two quarterbacks. Because what are you going to do? Like, what does that tell Dylan Gabriel whenever you drafted him in round 3 and then the very next round you draft Shedeur Sanders? Like, are you using these as trade bait? Well, if you're using them as trade bait, they have to see the field at some point. So that's just chalking up Cleveland is going to be ass this year.
All that, those two guys are not trade bait to begin with.
Exactly.
They're just not. So at that point, you drafted two guys to put on your bench because they're going to be bench spots to fill in. You're using Joe Flacco to hold down for this year For what? Are you hoping that a
Watson comes
starting
back.
quarterback somewhere is ready to be traded out, or is going to come to the end of a contract option that maybe you can get them, or like what is your game here?
They should have
Because
made a push for Aaron Rodgers if they were going to do that. At least he probably
I don't
will
think
win
that would
you
have been
some
any
games.
better. No, fuck no.
Then Joe Flacco? Joe
Aaron
Flacco.
Rodgers, dude, no. That dude is so fucking checked out. Aaron Rodgers is so
Doesn't
fucking
seem like
checked
he's checked
out.
out. Seems like he just doesn't want to leave football.
I don't think he knows what he wants to do. But
Well,
he's
he
never
wants to go in
locked the
his
fuck
retreat
in.
and smoke a whole bunch
Yeah.
of weed and have a
Oh my god.
dark, whatever he calls it, dark thought process or whatever he calls.
I
I
don't
don't know.
think that he is so far out of everything right now. I don't think that would have been a good play either. I think it and let's just be real, okay? Flacco could come out and just have a I'm pissed at the world. I wouldn't say stellar season, but a great season. He could have a old Joe Flacco type season. I don't want to hold my breath on it. It could happen. Okay. It's the Browns. So I mean, but in reality though, I mean, what are they going to pick up this year? Let's say they tanked out completely. They were the worst team in the league because they did this. They're going to do draft another quarterback and hope that that person can be
Yeah,
number
Carson
one. So
Beck.
now they have a number one or number two. And yeah, but Carson Beck, are we sure that he's going to be able to do anything this year? We're talking about
Nope.
party
No.
kid, So
Why
I mean,
would you transfer out of Georgia and go to fucking Miami?
because his girlfriend wanted him to, because she wanted to go down there and party.
Oh my God. You're going to go in the NFL and forget all about her. So, like, what's the point? Like,
No, they
I'm
have a
sorry.
kid together or some shit now too, and it's like all sorts of shit. I thought so. I mean, yeah, that's a whole fucking thing. He's not going to perform. So even if he is the top whatever, he's going to be so fucking distracted. He's not going to be worth a damn in the NFL either. Like his
Is
priorities are all wrong.
is Miami the biggest letdown in college football? Like,
Oh,
like,
1,000%.
all the mainstream
Like
hype that Miami gets, and then
1,000%.
is
And take the rivalry hatred out of it. FSU has sucked ass the last couple of years, but at least there's a semblance of life and just pissed offness that we want to do better. We want to figure this fucking shit out. Like we're sick
right,
of this shit. We know
right.
we can do better. You can go to every player on the team and they're just pissed off. They want to see this get better, and they'll do whatever they can to make that happen. Miami, they don't give a fuck. They have sucked under Mario Cristobal. They've sucked ass, and he's done nothing but talk shit to everybody and run his mouth, and they suck. They fall apart. They don't perform, and their players just end up not performing outside of the college either. And you look at the team
I don't know when the
chemistry.
last good Miami
at-
player was. Like, to be honest with you,
You look at the way that their practices are, and just there's nothing serious. There is no pissed off like we want to get over this hump. We want to do better than what we've been doing. We're sick of this shit. Let's shut it all off and change this all up. Like, no, we want to laugh and joke around and wear some fucking chain and look like a bunch of clowns out there because it's all about, we're out here having fun in my image and what can I get paid? And let's go party and get laid out here on the beach. Like, fuck all that. Like it is a letdown. Let's just be
I would assume, like, it would be thinking in college football, they are the biggest letdown school in the terms of like all the hype, but not following through.
They practice an entire year for one game. FSU.
Sounds about right.
One game every year. Their entire season is built around one game every year. And they will suck all year because their practice is built around playing FSU.
As long as you beat FSU, I guess,
It's all that matters. They want the state title. They want to be the best team in the state. Well, bullshit, you don't even play Florida. So how does that work? Let's just be fucking real here. Okay. We play both fucking teams both years, or both teams every year,
Yeah.
Anyways,
I mean,
we can get on a tangent there.
I hear you there. So I do want to talk about one more quarterback, Jackson Dart. Do you think at any point in time, Jackson Dart takes over that starting role over Russell Wilson anytime this year? I'm not even going to label a week. I'm just going to say at any point in time this year.
I think so. I mean, bro, it's the Giants. Okay, like they have a long history of questionable decisions. Okay, let's just be real. But they're also a team that doesn't have an identity still, and they've not had one. I mean, they thought Daniel Jones was the identity, that was the savior, that was the guy, and then that fell apart. Now they're having to figure this out again. So, yeah, you bring in Russell Wilson, and I hate the guy, but at the same time, like he's got great talent. He's not a bad player.
He's definitely not Russell Wilson of old. Like,
No,
definitely
no, no,
not.
no. It's like it would be like bringing back Big Ben and being like, "All right, hey, we want you to go on this team." Like, okay, he's still a great quarterback. He could still probably sling the ball, but he's not going to be the same lights out player, have the same great reads or the same reaction time, really, at the end of the day, that he would have had 5, 10 years ago. So I think that the Giants are going to roll the dice on that. I think any opportunity they can, whether they're just getting their asses kicked and let's just go sit Russell so he can rest and throw Dart in there and see what he does, or they just happen to get lucky and they're up enough where they're willing to take that chance. Again, let's sit Russell, let him rest, because ultimately that's going to be what is going to kill their season. Is when does Russell get tired or hurt or both?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And if they wear him the fuck out in the first 3 or 4 games of the season because they can't stop the defensive line, or he just doesn't have time to, or nobody's getting open, so then he's now having to scramble and trying to make things happen. Like they wear him out in the first few games of the season, you're going to watch that progressively drop. And then what are you
Mhm.
going to do? So I think any chance that they can, they're going to throw Dart in. And
I
I
mean, he's looked
think
really good.
if
I mean, he's
and
14 for
uh,
16, the last one, passing a rushing touchdown. I mean, I think he's putting pressure on Russell now. I would
I think that's the
assume,
conversation that you have with Russell. If I'm the coaching staff, is like, hey, we love that you're here, but your goal here is to help bring this guy up and make him ready.
yeah,
You're not our
and
long term
obviously
starter.
win football games. Like I wonder if teams go in there with the real expectation. I would love to peek behind the curtain of a conversation. Like, does every team go into the New Year League thinking they're going to win the Super Bowl? Like, realistic, because you can't, right?
Oh
Like, you
no.
can't go
Oh
into
no,
every year, going every
bro.
team, every owner, every GM, and every head coach is like 100%. We got a team that will win the Super Bowl, because I'm going to call bullshit on that. Like,
There's no way.
there's
There
no
is
way.
zero chance. You
Do you
can
think New
name
Orleans is
almost
going in this year going, yeah, we're going to win the South and we're going to
no.
win,
New
be the number one
Orleans,
seed? Like,
the
there's no
Cardinals,
way.
Jacksonville, the Falcons, the Raiders. Like you go down the list, dude. None of those teams have expectations of it. The Browns, Cleveland, they know that they're not going to. They literally would need every other team in the league to have the most chaotic bus accident and everybody break a tibia for them to have that chance to do something like that. Like you're asking for a catastrophic event to be able to have this miraculous season. It just doesn't happen. It's no different than it is in baseball. You know that the A's and all these teams know for a fact they will never ever get a chance at the World Series. It's just not going to happen. Can we though put butts in seats, make some money, have people there, have some concession sales, we're selling gear, that kind of thing. The Cardinals and the Saints. I mean, hell, if you've ever been to New Orleans, it's everywhere. The Saints is everything about that whole city. It is literally ingrained in them.
You mean the Pelicans aren't big?
It's all about the Saints, okay? But they know for a fact that they still suck. They'll tell you who dat, we dat, but we suck. Like that's just
Yeah.
the way it is.
Yeah.
Falcons fans, they love their Falcons organization. It's nationwide. There are Falcons fans all over the country, but they know, we suck ass. We're not going to ever have that opportunity.
Yeah. Like,
It's part of it.
because I'm sitting here and going, like, I'm trying to put myself in another team's shoes, and I'm not saying it because I'm a Chiefs fan and I'm coming from all this past success and everything. Because again, I'm a firm believer, new year, turn it over. Like, it starts scratch. Everybody starts 0-0. But there is some realistic expectation, like, that I put on Kansas City. Like, this year, I put an expectation of winning at least 13 games, because
And
I give at least 4. That's an
that's doable,
expectation,
yeah.
like, doable. But if I was like a Cleveland or an Arizona or one of these other teams, like, Do they go into that going, "Oh, our expectation is to win 7 games possible"?
I think if you're any other team that doesn't have a true viable roster, training staff, because I don't give a shit how good your roster is. If your training staff sucks, your conditioning, strength and conditioning coaches and everybody are not on par, you're going to have a lot of injuries. Your players are not going to be in shape enough. They could be the best talent and still not quite be at their peak, and that costs you everything. So a lot goes into that. If you're not one of those teams, one of those organizations, I think your height is, can we get on the bubble for the wild card and maybe get the wild card if we can get that? Like, we want to at least hit a winning season, but can we possibly get to the wild card as well? Try to
Yeah,
get to the playoffs,
yeah.
and that's really it. You know you're not going to win the Super Bowl. You're not going to go far in the playoffs. The Cowboys are a prime example. Jerry Jones is nothing more than a businessman. He just wants the money. And the whole organization's about that. And if you want to argue against that and tell me I'm wrong, then why don't you go watch all the interviews with all the players that have been drafted or traded and signed by the Cowboys,
Look at the
and watch
contracts
how
with CeeDee
shitty
Lamb, Dak Prescott, and all these other
how
guys, how
watch
much long it took them.
exactly, watch how shitty of a person he is and how long it takes for him to finally sign a contract for them. But then go look at teams like the Chiefs and the Eagles and these other organizations where the second you sign, they are already booking your flights and you are there in a seat signing a contract within 24 to 48 hours. You are physically on contract. They don't wait. They know that they're building an organization to do something and they're going to progress with that. They're not trying to play games. Whereas Jerry Jones is like, well, if I don't sign the contract, I can bring that down and I can play with my margins, or maybe they end up not wanting to be here and then we can get rid of them and get somebody else and save some money. And then trying to project how many people he can get in the stadium so that he can, just make more money. That's all he cares about.
And that's a good way to fuck up a culture with the team that you build that is cohesive enough for 4 years that are like, hey, we're building something. And then all of a sudden, like one of your star players is coming up for a contract and he's like, yeah, you've been great. You've been an all pro. You have done everything we've asked for, but I'm not going to pay you. Like that's kind of shitty. Like, why would I want to play for a guy like that? Why would I want to play for an organization like that? Like, that's why it's crazy whenever you hear guys that are like, they get traded or they sign a new deal with a new team and they talk about like the culture that they build. And the only reason why I reference Kansas City is because I hear a lot. I hear a lot of the guys that come in, like Justin Reed, for instance. He's like, Houston was great. I loved everything about it, but here it's different. It is like different. And I imagine there's other teams. I'm just not privy to those type of conversations. I'm sure it happens in Buffalo. I'm sure it happens in Baltimore. I'm sure it happens in all these other winning organizations. Shit, I bet it even happens in the 49ers. But like it's crazy whenever you build something and you take care of the players that have had an impact to your success, and then you build around those players. That builds a winning culture, that builds a winning desire, that builds a team that wants to go out and perform every single Sunday, Monday, or even Thursday night. Like, they want to go out and they want to perform and they want to put seats, people in the seats. They want to, sign merchandise. They want to do things for the community because they are giving so much back and they have an owner that is on the same page as them.
Take it a
So
step
that's,
further than that. It's not just the willingness to play and that desire to, run through a wall for you because you're going to war for them. You're showing how valuable they are to you and you're willing to do whatever you possibly can for them. That also builds that culture for them of like, you know what? They're doing all this for me. I love that they're building all of this. And it's not just me. We're trying to build this whole culture and I bought into this now. That's where you get these teams with these high star power players that are willing to take a pay cut or shuffle their contract around to try to help bring in more of that talent because hey, we need to continue to bolster. We need to continue to do this. And now I'm in this team mentality and I know they're going to take care of me. I can trust them. They've shown it to me. They've proven it. So I'm going to put that in their hands and continue to trust them and let them take care of me. I'm just going to do my part.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you got these guys like, you don't see that in a lot of these teams where it's, no, I want my fucking payday. And if I'm not
Yeah.
getting my payday, I don't want to be here. Okay,
Yeah.
bye. Go away. Bye bye.
Yeah. I mean, look at the whole Tyreek Hill situation with Kansas City. Like, dude wanted to get paid. And I'm like, dude, like, I understand you're an unbelievable wide receiver, unbelievable talent. But you're just coming off of a Super Bowl loss. You already won a Super Bowl, and they're willing to give you a contract, but they're not willing to meet you at your top level. But they're willing to make you like the second highest paid wide receiver in the league, and you're on a winning team. And he says, "No, I'm not. I'm not going to sign that." Well, one, how much is it the player and how much is it the agent? Because I'm sure the agent has no control over if a player wants to sign. If a player ultimately wants to sign to stay with the team and take a little pay cut, that's a pay cut to the agent. I get it. So the agent is there to advocate for you to get the most money, right? That's what he's there to do. That's what a good agent does. But if a player knows that the organization that they're at is a stellar organization with a stellar head coach and a stellar amount of talent around them, like, what the fuck are you doing? Your legacy is now not only going to be set in stone because of the team that you're on, but now it's going to be tarnished because you decided to cut and run on a good contract that you could have signed and stay with a team that still developed and won Super Bowls and won championships. And that would have solidified your claim to be in the Hall of Fame even more, or even to be an all pro, like throughout your career or whatever it may be.
To go to a team that you're a waste of talent at.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
straight up a waste of
Because
talent.
because they don't have the one thing that the other team that you just left did. And you're going there going, "Oh yeah, I'm going to help this team be this." And I'm like, "No, you're
And
not."
talk shit about the team that you just left.
Exactly. And
Absolutely
then
shit
have
talk
you
them.
have you ever beat that
All
team that you left? No.
all
No,
that
you
told me
haven't.
was he was never bought into the culture. And if I'm on that coaching staff, I'm like, okay, that sucks because we're losing a player. We're losing somebody that was a weapon, and we had all the plans in the world to utilize that weaponry and mold and foster that and make it better this year. Now I lost that. Now what the fuck am I gonna do? But in the same breath, I'm like, but I also don't want that mentality. I don't want that mentality of a player. So bye, Felicia. And then what did you guys do the next year? You bolstered up and you won.
Yep. Yep.
Like Tyreek who?
It's it's
It made no difference that he was gone at the end of the day.
like I could talk on this segment forever just because it's one of those things where it's like it's a pet peeve. Like, you're getting paid millions of dollars to play a sport that every kid loves to watch or loves to play, and you take it for
And
like, I'm sure
dreams
you
to
don't take
play.
it for granted, but there's some that I'm like, dude, you could be working a 9 to 5 at a grocery store. And I'm sure some NFL players have done that, like through college and everything. So they know what the struggle is trying to pay for school, playing a college
Or
sport,
sitting
the
in
hope
free
to make it,
agency.
or sitting in free agency. Like, don't take it fucking for granted. Like, you are on a team that has built a culture that it's it's hard enough to win one Super Bowl, but let alone win repeatedly and win a multitude of Super Bowls, but yet you want to get paid. Like, that's what I don't quite understand. Like, if you have a contract in front of you and the team that you just left won the Super Bowl, like, how disgusting does that make you feel? Like, oh, now it makes me look like I just chased money. Well, it did. That's what it did look like.
He literally did though. He said that. Like that it wasn't like it seemed like that. No, it was a legit thing. You chased money and then as soon as you left, but as soon as you possibly could, you were talking nonstop shit about that organization and all this crap. And again, it's just all right, you're proving to be a cancer in the organization. Bye. We
You know what?
appreciate what you gave us, but at the same time, bye.
If you want more money, stop having fucking kids, dude. Like,
Too, yeah.
just like, you're gonna get millions of dollars, but just like, the dude has like 15 kids or something. I don't know. I don't know the exact number, but like, I understand you want to take care of your family and you want to provide and you want to do everything, but football doesn't last forever. Like, careers don't last forever. Money doesn't always last forever. Yes, you have an opportunity to make more money, but that's why it's important that you get what you can get while you get it, and continue to be smart about it. So like staying with the team for a longevity of time, getting paid relatively well for what you do, but yet you're setting a stone and a legacy. What's more important, money or legacy? Me, it's legacy. Some players, it's evident. It's evident to see that it's like, oh, I only care about the money. So then, do you even really care about playing fucking football? Like, I'm just good. I'm good, and I'm just gonna go out here and play football because I'm good, and I'm gonna get paid for it. Great, that's a selfish person right there. Like, not a team base. But anyways,
I
I
think
I
we need
just
to move on to some baseball.
yeah,
I
we're
think
going to.
I think
We're
we
going
move
to.
on to some baseball at this point.
I will get wrapped into this conversation way too much. Like
I think
that's the
by
thing.
now we have, listener fatigue at this point. I'm sure they're like, my God,
Probably
they've
100%.
talked about nothing but football for 2 weeks straight now. Can we talk about
Can we
something
get
else?
some baseball? Yes, we
And
can get to some
and that's
baseball.
awesome of a segment and a thing to talk about, because last week we were absolutely just flabbergasted.
Shitting on the Yankees, and yet look what they fucking did.
Just the whole, I know, like they out of
It's
fucking
insane.
nowhere. And again, on the back of who? On the back of who? He comes
Aaron
out.
Judge.
He's not hurting anymore. He's back in the roster. We're doing well, and it's like it.
9 home runs though. 9. Only team in history to do that is the Yankees, and they've done it twice this year. That's it. They're the only team in history to hit 9 home runs in a game, and they're the only team that has done it twice. So originally they were the only team, period, to do it. Now they're the only team to do it twice in a single year. Man,
He comes back. You get Stanton starts to light back up again. These guys are starting to get their groove again. Pitching finally. Oh my God! Like I don't know what they did, man, but to see the pitching finally show up and actually have a good series, couple games. Like
they had a great
we're
week.
what, a 5-game win streak now. So
yeah, great week. And they have a massive series against the Red Sox coming up this weekend. 4-game series, and so that's going to determine like I just looked today, Toronto only has like a 4-game lead in the East. So I think it's up for grabs now between those 3 teams. I was assuming last week that Toronto was just going to run away with it, but I don't know. I think this one might come down to like the last 4 or 5 games of the year to determine who's going to win that conference or that division. See, I'm still on football. But
I will say, I mean, this Red Sox series is going to be interesting. I know
it
the
will.
Yankees have like
they have Giolito going
240 something
tomorrow.
games positive in their favor in history. Like they've won 240 something games more than Boston has.
Is it in New York or is it in Boston? I think it's in Boston. I think it's in Boston. I'm pretty sure it's in Boston.
Somebody will yell at us and tell us.
Yeah, somebody will. They'll be like, it's
either
in New
way.
York. Okay.
Either way,
whatever.
like
but
you can send your hatred to the rivalry rundown at AOL, Yahoo, MSN.com.
At no one gives a shit, period.
Yes,
Don't
too,
really care.
No,
Whatever. Autocorrect me on
no email
TikTok
provided.
Or YouTube,
no response coming at whatever hotmail.com.
At 888, go fuck yourself. Don't care if we got it wrong.
Not gonna happen.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But
it'll be interesting.
I
mean, that's it's a very slim lead. I think honestly, if the Yankees can take the series, they don't have to sweep it. If they can just take the series,
it's in New York. We were wrong. It's in New York.
I was gonna say New York, but then I rolled with you. But anyways,
it's in New York.
I think if they take the series, it'll put them in a very, very strong position to lock down that berth.
Yeah.
They don't even have to, let's be real, they don't even have to try to take the whole thing. Get the wild card out of it. Just take the spot. So
yeah, I mean, I think that division is shaping up to be a pretty tough one. Yeah, it's 4.5. 4.5. Yankees back 4.5. Boston back 5. So a half game back from New York. Obviously, we know Tampa Bay and Baltimore out of it, but it's. We were talking last week that the Yankees have the caliber and the team to make and win that division and make a big push within the playoffs. If they play like they have over the last 10, going 7-3, and scoring the way that they have done, unbelievable. Like their playoff percentage is now back up to 97. So like they're hitting their stride at the right time. And last week, coming off of the series that they looked like absolute ass. Um, that's where it's like that's where baseball is so exciting. Like baseball is just the most exciting time right now when you get into the last like 40 some odd games left in the year, because you really see teams turn it up to where they're like, we're going to make this playoff push and we're going to put everything on the line to do it, or we're going to just cradle back into our hole and go, you know what, next year is just a new year. Like we can, like, whatever. So it's awesome to see Boston, New York, and Toronto like just going ham wild. But this weekend series is going to be a really good one. Friday night they have Bello and Max Fried going Friday. Saturday they have Crochet and Warren. Sunday they have May and Rodon. And then on Monday, I don't know, May hasn't really looked that great coming over.
Don isn't either, dude. He's walking people left and right. So that's the one that bothers me. That's the one that I think if the Yankees are gonna drop one in that 4-game stint, that would be the one.
I don't know.
And that's assuming that Rodon really does have a bad outing.
No, it's a 3-game stint. Sorry, my bad. I thought it was a 4. It's 3-game. It's 3-game. So that's the last one. So, I think if the Yankees take the first 2 Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday drop the Sunday series, that's fine. That's okay.
Fine.
That's fine.
Yeah. Which is fine. That's your rotation. That's kind of where you want it anyways. If you win that one, great. If not, you took the series. That's what.
And Toronto's at the Marlins, and the Marlins have been playing some really good baseball in the second half. So realistically, they're not a team where, how like you can go into some games and you're like, oh man, this team is awful. Like but their record is not an adamant of what their team is. They're 60 and 67, and I just don't see them as a 60 and 67 team. For some reason,
they had some bad skids there for a little bit.
Yeah, like they played the Royals really well coming out of the All-Star break. And I mean, that was a Royals team that won like only 1 game in June, which was awful. But so I don't know. Toronto, we'll see. But right now I'm gonna flip it a little bit. I think it's either Yankees or Boston. I think they catch Toronto. I don't think Toronto's gonna stay up there, especially with the way Yankees and Boston been playing. I mean, like just going through the last 10 games, Boston is 4-6. Yankees are 7-3. Well, I guess Toronto's 6-4. So I don't know. That division is going to be tight. Like it's going to be a gauntlet. I think the last 30 some odd games that they got left.
Do we have anybody on pace for 100 win season?
I would assume the only people that are on pace would be.
It just doesn't seem like
if Milwaukee doesn't lose ever, then maybe Milwaukee. But
you look at last year and the year before, it just seemed there were so many stacked teams that were on that pace or able to hit that mark. And this year, it just does not seem like anybody.
It doesn't look like anybody's going to hit 100
win.
I don't think it's going to.
Which is
like
wild.
even the Dodgers, like they're sitting at 73 and 55, and they would have to win the next 30 of their next 38 that they have to even.
And that's such a high improbability that happens. I mean, you're going to drop
to surpass it. So, which I don't think it can, because even that division right now, it's a 2-headed race between the Padres and the Dodgers, and it's only 1 game difference right now. Like that's it. So, like
wild to see the Padres come back.
I know.
Padres,
I know. I mean, that's what good pitching does for you. Good pitching, timely hitting, situational hitting. But who knows who takes that division? I don't know. We'll see. I do know that the Royals are not going to gain anything over Detroit because they both split the same 10-game split, 8-2. So literally, they've sat at 9.5 games back this whole time. Like no difference. Now, granted, they have a series with Detroit starting tomorrow, 3-game series in Detroit, and then they go to Chicago, the White Sox, and then they come back home for Detroit. So they have 6 games in literally less than 2 weeks with Detroit. So if you're going to make up ground, at least 4, you need to win both those series, and then to bring it down. Because then you can bring it down to 5.5, and then hopefully, obviously, hopefully they sweep the White Sox, maybe bring it down to 3.5, and then at a 3.5 game with just the month of September left to go, even that division isn't technically wrapped up. Um, you know, right now the Royals only have like a 25% playoff chance, and I see why, because they're on the outside looking in on wild card, but they are 2 games back now in the wild card after winning today against Texas. Um, they're only 2 back from Seattle, and Seattle has not looked great over their last 10. They are 3-7. So, and they have a hard stretch, and they still have to play Kansas City in Kansas City. So it it is looking up for the Royals right now. It is
Yeah.
looking up. They have been the best bullpen coming out of the break since All-Star. That is 100% fact. They have been the best bullpen and the best team in the AL after the All-Star break, which is crazy coming from a team that only won once at home in Kauffman in June, which is crazy. So
I want to bring up somebody. I just thought I saw the stat. I don't know yesterday or earlier today. I thought it was pretty cool. Dude out of the Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll is the second player since 1965 to have where he's at now. It's a triples plus home run combo. Dude's got 16 triples and 27 home runs on the season right now. And lightning fast. If you haven't watched him run the bases, you have to. Apparently, he's running like 30 feet per second.
that's insane.
He is quick cutting around those corners on the base. But yeah, he's crazy. It's wild. I think he's like the 13th player ever to reach that mark, but it's the second since 1965. In this newer era of baseball, that I just I mean, it's just insane. And it's the Diamondbacks. I mean, but still, could be the worst team in the league. Having stats like that, though, is pretty cool.
And that's pretty crazy. The fact that like 30 feet per second, holy shit, that's that's hauling. That's hauling.
Yeah, he is
and the
he is getting
and the
to third
fact that he,
base more than most players ever hope to get to second. Like, that's insane.
how many triples has he had this year? 16.
16 triples and 27 home runs.
I wonder what's the record for triples in a year. I mean, it's got to be what, like 20s, like 20, 24, 25. It can't be that much, right? But also, I'm thinking like now baseball. I'm not thinking like baseball way back when they
I
started doing
mean,
records.
yeah, the top is going to be 36, set by a dude in 1912, played for the Pirates.
Yeah, yeah. See, this
If
is
we
this
if
is
we
the
want to
whole
go,
point. This is the whole point. This is like why you need to refresh records, and like
so if
I
you go to
understand
like,
keep it in, but
let me scroll through here. If we look at,
like look at the last decade.
I'd have to go all the way down to um a tie for 22nd on this list of all-time single season triples. Okay, to find somebody from 2007, which was Curtis Granderson, hit 23, and he was tied with the likes of Ty Cobb and Earl Combs and a whole bunch of people from way back in
Was
the day.
that when he was
Okay.
with New York?
Uh,
That has to be when he was with
2007,
New York. I'm almost positive he was with New York in that year.
Detroit.
Oh, then that makes sense. Detroit's a massive ballpark. American
All
Park is
right.
massive.
From there, we have to go down to. I'm still going. Still going. Holy crap. That's it. I'm at like 33rd spot, and I still am looking at people from the early 1900s, the late 1800s. Yeah. Here's
That's
one
crazy.
1979. Somebody hit 20. George Brett hit 20.
That's crazy.
That's
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 crazy.
insane. That's very insane stats. I'm just saying. Like
I know.
that's
Like, good for Corbin. Good for Corbin. Like, just absolutely being a menace on the bases. That's unbelievable.
yeah,
Um,
he's on pace. He's on pace. So
well, here's the question. Like, the
he's got
Brewers since
35 more
May,
games to play. So I mean,
I mean, yeah, he could. I mean, 20, maybe even more. Who knows? I
Johnny
guess we'll see.
Callison was the last person that was in 1965 to hit 16 in a season,
That's crazy. That's crazy.
and he was with Philadelphia at the time.
Damn.
So I mean, that's a
Damn.
long way back.
So the Brewers since May have been the hottest team in baseball since May. They now have like an 8-game lead on Chicago, the Cubs. How disappointing do you think it would be for Chicago to not only not win that division and maybe miss the playoffs? I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs. I seriously think that they end up making it. But how disappointing that you are a 73-55 team and you're going to be a wild.
I think that's par for the course for the Cubs. I mean, let's be real. I mean, it could be another 108 years before we see them have a stellar season again, which
Outside of
sucks.
2016, whatever they
Yeah,
won.
but they've had such when they won the World Series. Yeah, that was 108 years since they had done
Yeah.
that before. So I
Nah,
mean, it
nah.
could be another 108 or 3 years or whatever it was, but they've had, and it sucks. They've had such great players come through that organization and just be on the team for such a long time. And then they started doing the rotational thing and they finally got to where they could win and they won it. And then it's like, what are you doing since? Like why are we not fostering and farming and continuing to build on what we had and we're going away? And honestly, they look like the fucking Braves. Goddamn Atlanta Braves will bring on the best fucking players in the country and they'll have a stellar damn team. And you know that they are poised. They could do it. And the next year they farm them all off to every other team in the country and they have nobody on the roster. And it's like, what the hell were you doing that for?
Yep.
You had the money. It's not like you
Yeah.
were over a cap or anything. You
Yeah.
just are allergic to winning. You're afraid. You're
Sorry.
scared.
Sorry. You got your World Series. Now we just can't win.
Right.
No,
And it's like,
we can't do it.
where is that in the book? Okay. Like I want to see who wrote that in the book, in the rules. It said that if you want it, you have to wait so many years, which means you have to drop your roster. Um, like, no, I don't like it. I feel like they're doing the same thing. They get these great players in there and they'll have a good roster and they're stable. They're not contender ready, but they're stable and they have that foundation to build off of. And they'll make a vague attempt at it instead of just going all in. And then that vague attempt doesn't win them anything, and so then they just scrap the team and start over. And I don't know, unless it's just this whole marketing thing like we're talking about. They're just trying to get money and butts and seats or what. But it doesn't.
I mean, I
It
would think
doesn't pan out for long
Atlanta
term.
probably that Truist Park, and Atlanta being, the Braves, they probably do still put butts in seats in
Oh,
that
always,
park. So,
always.
all right, we're gonna end this show with one thing that I came up with. It is a new segment. It's going to be called Rundown Showdown. It is going to be where I ask 3 questions, and
Oh
it's
God.
going to be a premise of either somebody's on the hot seat, a buy or sell, or a Mount Rushmore. This week we are going to be doing buy or sell. Okay, so what the premise of this is the format is buy, meaning you agree with the question, or sell, meaning you disagree. Okay. So, first question here, Caleb Williams is already the most impressive rookie quarterback from the 2025 class after just 2 preseason games. I am selling that shit, hands down. We have already gone through the Caleb Williams thing, so I don't need to do it again. So, 100% selling. That
Yeah, I'm
dude
selling that downriver. Like
is not impressive.
I will
So
sell that and my oceanfront property in Arizona and everything the fuck else I can possibly sell. I'll sell a kidney to go along with that one if it means I can get rid of him. I'm just saying, yeah, sell that shit.
oh man, yeah, I'm not doing it again. Question 2. The Detroit Tigers are for real. They will win the AL Central over the Kansas City Royals. I am selling that. I disagree. The way Kansas City's been playing the last 10, getting ready to play a 6-game series, and I say 6 games because they do have 6 games, but it's separated between 2 series against Detroit, and Kansas City is coming off of not only the stellar run that they've had through the month of July and now August, also coming off of they have the best bullpen hands down in the MLB right now, and their hitters are actually starting to hit situationally. I think you're starting to see a trend here where you're starting to get the lineup that is set. It doesn't change very much. They left Cags down in AAA. Not saying that he won't ever come back up, but they have made the correct moves at the correct time, and they are starting to pay dividends for it. I'm going to sell that. I think Detroit is real. I think they're a really good team. They're really young. They have that caliber in them. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to choke it. I think so. And that's just me being a firm believer. So,
I mean, look at last year. Detroit was so fucking poised to just take over. I mean, they were all there. They had it. They very easily could have just gone all the way
they should have beat the
and
Yankees. Should have beat
then
them.
just fell apart.
Yep.
And it's I don't know. I don't know if it just ends up becoming that mentality of like, oh my God, we're at this point, and you stress yourself out and then you just fall apart when you
Yeah,
get
what
that first
teams
little bit of
choke?
adversity.
That's going to be a great thing to talk about next week. Is like, what teams do we think are going to potentially get out that mountaintop and then potentially choke it out? And like because they're putting too much pressure on maintaining what they got. Like, I'm gonna put out a little shocker. I think Milwaukee might do that. So we'll talk about that next week though.
And I'd get behind that. Yeah. I think I'd sell this one too. I don't think Detroit's going to hold it down enough. I think they're gonna be okay closing out the season, but I don't think they're gonna hold it out enough to be able to keep Kansas City out of that picture. I think they're gonna end up losing it out. So
Yep. Yep. All right. And then the last one here for this week. We're going to leave it
yes.
on a little banger. Here you go. The
Yes.
Atlanta Braves are the biggest disappointment in MLB this season.
I will put every penny and I could ever scrounge up on that one. I would buy that in a heartbeat.
I'm going to buy it with the expectation that Atlanta had and the preseason. Like, I believe in baseball preseason ranking because you can determine what you got, your 40-man roster, and then obviously your 25 active. I'm a firm believer of this. I thought, Atlanta was so poised to win that division and again make a deep playoff run. But last year, I mean, they had to have help with Kansas City, obviously. So, and it's not like they lost a lot of people. It's not like they lost guys that were, you know, there last year and not there this year. It does suck for Acuna. Guy can't stay healthy, was an amazing talent, and it does suck. But maybe this time, maybe we start getting in the conversation where maybe we need to start moving them. Maybe we need to start
I
potentially
don't even
putting them on
think
a
it's that
trade.
as much. I think this year, it was early on in the season, very early on in the season, Atlanta knew that they were not going to go very far. Like it was already in the writing. You could tell very quickly at the beginning of
Isn't
the
it
year
whenever
that they
they
were
they, they lost like 10 out of 12, like pretty
they
bad
just
too?
knew that they were not going and there was a whole roster issue. You had so many injuries already. Like you had barely made it through the first 20 games and you had guys that were out again. And it was so devastating because you knew that we were poised, we could do it, but we weren't there. And I think at that point is where they should have pulled from the farm and taken some of these guys like Acuna and so that needed that chance. They just needed a break. Let them have it. We know our season's already a bust. Get them healthy. Maybe they can come back and we can do a late year run. We're not going to get anywhere out of it, but we can kind of get that momentum going again and kind of get our feet on ground and get ourselves ready to go to prep for next year. But we can also play with our farm talent. We can play around with some of our trades, that kind of thing. I think that's the structure that they should have taken instead of trying to front load so much on the, hey, we could still come back. We could still do this. Guys, we're only 40 games back. We could still do this. Guys, who only got 7 people that are still healthy, but we could still do that. Like, it doesn't work out that way. So they, on paper, the Braves did, they looked great. I think again this year the Braves did the Braves. And let's be real. Last year they had a great makeup. The year before they had a great makeup. But the moment that they let Freddie Freeman go and they started shedding off players off the team, off of a winning team. Yes, I know they need to get paid and all of that stuff, but Freddie didn't want to go. Freddie would have stayed.
Freddie would have retired a Brave, like hands down.
And you've shed so much great talent.
Well, you remind me this next week because I'm going to ask you this question: if Freddie did stay, would he have been an all-time Brave over like Chipper Jones? Well, I'm curious to see if like that is something that people would think. If like was Freddie Freeman more of a Brave than Chipper Jones would have been?
Never in a million years. Chipper is Atlanta. Like Freddie, everybody loves Freddie in Atlanta. Like the whole city will always be home for him. He's always going to be welcome there no matter where he plays. They love Freddie Freeman, but there is nothing more there than the love for Chipper Jones. That dude goes out of his way for everybody. He retired, won a Hall of Fame, and literally had a snowstorm in Atlanta, Georgia, and knew that his players from his team, he's retired, sitting on his couch, finds out that his players are stranded on the interstate trying to get to the stadium. They were supposed to be going for something. I don't remember what it was. They're trying to get to team facilities. And he got out on an ATV and went and picked up all these guys and got them over to his house to ride out a snowstorm. Okay, like
all right, so maybe literally Chipper Jones
Atlanta.
Is like the most amazing guy ever. So, oh man,
he is a man's man. Like he is the dude that you want to have as your friend, and he made those teams. Like they loved him to death. The city loved him to death. They didn't want him to retire. Like they wanted him to somehow or another find a way to rejuvenate, become 20 years younger, and play for another 25 years. Yeah, man. Anyways, all right. I'm not biased or anything. He's not my favorite ball player of all time.
All right, maybe we won't ask that question next week. Then, since we already just went through it, so it's all good. But next week we are going to break down the wild card scramble. What that is we are going to take both NL and AL and take it into a situation where what teams we feel have made enough case for themselves to make the playoffs. We're going to make our final bracket, and we're just going to submit that and just say, I think these teams are destined to go to the dance. We're going to talk preseason week 3. We're going to cover all the major cuts, everything that happened on cut day for the NFL. As we know, that is getting closer and closer. Season is about to kick off here. I believe Dallas and Eagles, and we're going to take a brief look at that before season starts. And then we're also going to be jumping in to recap college football games coming up, what we're looking forward to. And who knows, hopefully by then we'll have a little bit more juice to talk about with college football, because college football right now, I'd really love to get into it, but with nothing happening outside of some rule changes, outside of some expectations, the AP 25, we've already went on that rant on everything NIL. So we'll get into some more football games and everything like that. But until then, Dan the Man, I appreciate it.
Just so everybody knows, the coaches poll put FSU at number 9. We'll leave it there.
FSU number 9. Crack the top 10. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a good one, guys.
Later.